So let's go ahead and debuff ourselves for 90% extra damage. Action skill for 75% more damage. Use this. Switch to our Unforgiven for 432% more critical hit damage, and he's gone. Yo, what is up, children of the vault, and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. In this video, I'll be showing you guys the best Amara build for boss fights, because this week we have the Anointed event in which bosses and ads are going to drop the most anointed weapons. So what you want to do is farm a boss and farm them as fast as possible. I would recommend the Grave Ward. That is the go-to farm if you want to get the anointed weapons that you want, unless you want a specific item. For example, the Queen's Call from Tyrene. Well, that's completely up to you. Maybe you just wanted anointed. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go straight through the tree, as I understand some people just want to look at the tree and move on because they know the synergies, and then I will explain it later with the synergies and everything for people that still need to understand why I did the build. So we're going to start off here on the blue tree, and we're going to put 3 points into Fast Hands. Next up, we're going to put 2 points into Violent Tapestry, and this is just so we can open this part. Otherwise, we can't go down. Next up, we're going to put 5 points into Alacrity, 3 into Transcend, 5 into Restless, 3 into Wrath, 3 into Laid Bare, 3 into Firm Rest, 1 into Awakening, and finally 1 into Avatar. For the red tree, you're going to want to put 5 into Anima, 5 on Wildfire, 5 on Tempest, 1 on Deep Well, and this is where it varies for people. This skill right here, Personal Space, is going to deal more damage the closer you are to an enemy. But let me tell you, if you're just going to farm the Grave Ward and that's it, this does not work on the Grave Ward. I already did testing with multiple weapons, different modifiers, and the farther I was, it wasn't doing any difference. The closer I was, it was the same damage. On Tyrene, though, there is a difference. I was doing like 48k from far, and then I got close up. I was doing like 55k, somewhere around there with the Dastardly Maggie. But for the Grave Ward, this does not affect them. So you can put 3 points in here if you plan on farming multiple bosses. But if you're just doing the Grave Ward, you can put 2 points into Awakening, which I will do right now. And the final point is literally just a burn point. I'm going to put it into Do Harm just because. But really, it's just a burn bow. You know what? I'll just put it into Violent Tapestry, because none of these skills that are left are going to help you do more damage and kill the bosses faster. None of them. I'm serious. None of them are going to help you do that. So this is just going to be a burn one, and I'll burn it on Violent Tapestry. Now for the action skill, this is actually going to differ for everybody. If you happen to have an anointed version of a weapon that gives you increased damage based on a specific use of an action skill, then go ahead and equip that action skill. But if not, always, and I mean always, take Phase Cast. Reason being is because of this skill right here, Laid Bare. What this skill does is when you use your action skill, enemies are going to take increased damage from all sources for a few seconds after being damaged by the action skill. So this is not going to work if you don't actually hit the boss with it. But if you hit the Grave Ward with your Phase Cast, you're going to be doing 25% more damage for the next 8 seconds. For your Augment, it doesn't really matter. They're not going to affect the boss at all, so I just put Allure or really anything. And then for your actual element, it depends. You're fighting the Grave Ward, might as well put this one. If you're fighting Tyrene, this one. If you're fighting Trant, change it back to Shock. So I'm going to keep Incendiary. And that's it for the skill tree. Now let's go into here, and this is where we're going to go more into detail. For this one, first slot, I have a Hazardous Sellout level 26. Reason why it's such low level is because I will be shooting myself in the foot to debuff myself so I can synergize with this artifact right here. This artifact is called Elemental Projector. I think most of us know about it by now. So every time you debuff yourself, so while suffering an elemental damage, increase your damage with that same element. So if I do this and set myself on fire, I'm going to be doing 90% more incendiary damage. So that's why I have a Cutsman and a Lyuda. Reason why I have these two, this one is overpowered. It's so good. Let's not say the word overpowered because they're going to nerf it even more. Anyway, they just recently nerfed it. Didn't really do a squat on it. It's still very, very good. this still insta kills the bosses most of the time, unless you have like some crazy modifiers that are absolutely nerfing the crap out of SMGs and elemental damage. Then it might take a little bit longer, but usually you're gonna one-shot them. And that's why we have Lyuda. In case this one doesn't one-shot them, you kill them on the next shots with this one. It's that simple. It's gonna happen 99% of the time. And finally, for our final slot, we have Trick Unforgiven. This is a special one that I got, and it has 432 critical hit damage. Most of them have around 380% more critical hit damage, but really this is the key to one-shot the bosses. So if you want to kill the bosses as fast as possible, you gotta have this build, have these weapons, and this one especially. You don't need these weapons exactly. You can get some if you like some Torg weapons that are incendiary and they explode. You can also do that and switch to the Unforgiven, and you'll actually do about the same damage, except the Cutsman is still better, just saying. Now for our shield, this is not the best. I will admit it, the Transformer is not the shield to take for boss damage for max DPS. Unfortunately, I scrapped all my shields that I had that I wasn't using for more bank space, but now that I think of it, I kind of screwed up, because there's certain shields that actually give you more damage. For example, there's some that every time your shield is depleted, you do more damage. There are others like the Rerouter that when your shields are full, you shoot and then you lose half of your shield or half of your health, and then you get 120% more damage on your next shot of your weapon. So those type of shields are the ones you want to take for this farming method. Okay, we're gonna skip this class mod for now, and you gotta have one of these artifacts. Elemental Projector, I have one of these. We already talked about it. It synergizes with this because every time I set myself on fire, I'll be doing 90% more incendiary damage. And as you can see, I actually have a loaded dice variant in which my luck is substantially increased. It doesn't say the exact number, but sometimes there's 12% luck down here. So that means that this is more than 12% luck. My guess is around 50% more luck. So definitely you want to have one of these loaded dice. If you don't, Elemental Projector will suffice. And then finally, for a class mod, this is very important. You have to have a Phaserker. If you don't get a Phaserker, this is not going to work. You really need a Phaserker. Reason being is because look at what it does. Action skill use, you gain your max rush stack count, but they decay over time. Amara gains 3% weapon damage and 10% action skill cooldown rate based on the number of rush stacks, and it also gives you a max rush stacks of 5. And as you can see from our skill tree, we already have 10 from Violent Tapestry, 10 from Avatar, that is 20, and 5 from the Phaserker class mod, that's 25. If you don't have a Phaserker, the only way to get rush stacks is with Violent Tapestry by applying status effects to enemies. And as you can see, before you go into a boss fight, if you're farming the Grave Ward or any other boss, you're not fighting any enemies. So you have 0 rush stacks accumulated. And skills like Alacrity, which increase your reload speed, and Awakening, which increase your rush stack effectiveness, are useless. So you want to take a Phaserker so you can automatically gain those rush stacks on your action skill use. Additionally, it gives you 3% more weapon damage for every rush stack. So in total, there's 25 rush stacks that you're going to gain automatically. That's 75% more damage, at least at the start. Obviously, they're going to decay over time. By the time you finish shooting your Cutsman, you did, what, like 50% more damage, and you just absolutely destroy the boss. So Phaserker is a must. Now, let's go ahead and put this build to the test. We are here with the Grave Ward. As you can see, minus 20% damage with guns, plus 50% SMG, minus 50% SMG. This is a weird modifier. Anyway, these cancel out. So Cutsman is not going to be affected, and the sniper rifles are not going to be affected. Because minus 50 plus 50, that's 0. We're only getting a 20% nerf on all our weapons. So this is going to be a relatively fast kill. We're going to go ahead and debuff ourselves for the Elemental Projector. Then we use our action skill right here for our 25 rush stacks. Now we go ahead and shoot him there. Switch to our crit swap weapon. Insta kill. Oh, I'm dead. That is literally going to happen 99% of the time, unless you get extremely unlucky with some crazy nerf on your weapons like minus 70% elemental damage and then a minus 50% incendiary damage, then in that case you might as well restart because you're probably not going to kill them as fast. So as you can see, let's look at our modifiers once again. Plus 70% elemental damage. Enemies take 50% less incendiary, so that's 50, 70. So 70 minus 50, that's still going to be a 20% boost to our damage. So we're going to kill him easy again, pretty fast. So let's go ahead and debuff ourselves for 90% extra damage. Action skill for 75% more damage. Use this. Switch to our Unforgiven for 432% more critical hit damage, and he's gone. That is simple, guys. If you guys want to try this build for yourselves, just look at the tree in case you forgot or something. You can screenshot this one, and screenshot this one. No points into here, again, unless you're fighting Tyrene or someone else. If you're going to be farming the Grave Ward, this is pointless. I'm telling you, you're not going to do more damage to the Grave Ward with this. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. If you found it helpful in any way, shape, or form, please help me out by dropping a like on this video. I just want to say a huge shout out to everyone that watches my videos. The support recently on this channel has been amazing. If you're new around here and want to help me out reach 2,000 subscribers, I would really appreciate it if you guys can hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications as well so you get notified every single time I do go live. I do post a lot of build videos. I do post just certain news. For example, this new event, I just uploaded a video announcing the event, stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in anything Borderlands 3 related, here is a place to be. That being said, I'm going to end